I love printing. I love printing. I love it. I love printing.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another week with me, Warren Werbeth. Today, I am fortunate, always use the word fortunate, because I am a fortunate guy, and life is good. I wore the t-shirt because I want to be reminded that every day that I wake up is a good day, and for you too. So today, we are lucky enough to have a friend of mine from the last year, since the pandemic began. We have Paul Steed from ASL. You know what? I do this all the time. You tell us who you are for the next minute, and then we'll get into whatever it is we're going to talk about.
Who am I? I'm a salesman. I sell digital production printers to commercial print organisations throughout the UK. I work for a company called ASL Group. 13, 14 offices, 200 people, I believe.
Whoa.
Around about there. And we sell and service office copiers, so the stuff that's in your office that you would ordinarily work on, we sell and service that ourselves. And then we sell and service commercial print machines that are backed up by the individual manufacturer, because we find that way we get usually a steady level of service and response. And sometimes it goes wrong, but the level of business that we have with them is such that when we are negotiating to resolve an issue, we're negotiating on behalf of 300 machines, not one. So we tend to get listened to. Yeah.
Wow. So, wow, that's pretty cool. So can I ask, just so that we start to give my viewers of 11 some idea of who are the companies that you might represent?
For the digital, sorry, I should say the production
yeah,
printers we supply.
By the way, sorry, I'm more interested always in the production equipment, not the office copiers.
Right. The office copies is 22,500 machines we've got in the field.
That's a lot of office copiers.
A lot of copies.
Except they're hang on, they're in offices. They're not in people's houses yet, are they? Or did you move them?
Both. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. But those devices also sit in the offices of commercial printers, so it all has to work together along with the software that goes with it. Predominantly, though, for commercial printers, we will supply Canon, so the image press range, and the Varioprint black and white. Canon, Kodak, Konica Minolta, Kyocera, one to watch. The new Task Alpha inkjet is one to watch. It's a beauty.
I was just seeing something on that.
Ricoh, and of course Xerox. Those are the ones we sell.
Okay, so before I ask you about buying, because I used to be a buyer of a lot of stuff, how do you guys manage to deal with all these manufacturers?
I don't know.
Fair answer.
That is. We had a get together, the guys that sell production, myself, yesterday. We're having a chat about it, and I actually do sometimes concern myself that our portfolio might be getting too big, because as one new product comes in this side of my head, I'm sure it's forcing something back out of that side of the head. But it's actually not that hard, because we're talking about all of the machines all of the time, and bouncing conversations with you, a customer, with a commercial print customer. We're getting constant feedback from them on everything. So knowledge just increases, and it's not that hard. Dealing with the manufacturers is a dark art. But here is the really brutal ASL point of view.
Please, I am about brutal.
We supply all manufacturers indiscriminately, independently, and on the basis of what is best for the end user. But if one of those manufacturers starts behaving like a dick, and believe you me, they all do from time to time, we turn off that sales engine just for a few months, just so they see no orders coming through and they start paying attention and respecting the questions that we ask them.
Okay, so question, sorry, I'm going to come maybe some rapid fire ones if they come up quickly. Don't all these manufacturers have their own sales offices in the UK?
They do.
Okay, so my next question is, how do these manufacturers allow a reseller to be in the same market as them number one, right? Number two, I think that I would actually prefer to go to someone like you than any one of them, right? Because I would think that your vested interest in my success is far more important to you than it is to them, although they'll disagree, right? Answer. I'll have more, but keep asking. Keep answer.
Yeah.
Why come to you?
You're familiar with the story of the Emperor's new clothes, yes?
Tell my listeners just in case.
It was only a little boy in the crowd that said, "Hang on a minute, the Emperor's naked," because everybody else is sycophantically saying how magnificent he looks, and that is sometimes the problem that we experience with the manufacturers. They have one story to tell you, and it's all about me. It's all about me, the manufacturer, and that's all they will ever tell you. Nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with having a firm belief in the product range that you have being industry leading, except for the fact that they're not.
Industry leading.
No one manufacturer can solve every problem, but they believe they can.
Well,
and what they won't do is say, "Oh, do you know, Warren? Yeah, you got me on that one. I think you should go and buy something from so-and-so because they've got a machine that will do that." They won't do that.
They're all legends in their own mind, right?
Aren't we all?
No, I'm not. I'm a legend. It's not in my mind. No, I'm just kidding. So okay, another question. Pricing. I'm just thinking, if I'm going to one of the manufacturers, I don't want to use names because I don't want to discriminate or disrespect, but if I'm going to one of the manufacturers and it's $1,000 and I'm coming to you and it's $1,000, you got to be making $300. Why do they need you to sell the machine? And no disrespect, you should make your money, but why do they need you to sell the machine? Shouldn't the manufacturer be selling it to me at the price they could sell it to you? Like, why's the money? Why do you have it and I don't have it?
But my salary, my holiday pay, my car, my fuel, my laptop are all funded by the directors of ASL Group.
Right.
Somebody that works for Xerox, they are funded by Xerox. Somebody that works for Ricoh, they are funded by Ricoh. So it means their cost of sale is always higher. They have to have a price that compensates or covers the cost of that salesperson's very existence. That said, a lot of these manufacturers would like to impose a minimum sale price on the marketplace. Now, in the UK, that's kind of illegal. We call it price fixing. We don't encourage it.
Oh, they have that. They have that. Only the gas companies are allowed to price fix around the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're the only ones that are allowed to collude because it's good in every country.
Apparently.
For the consumers. For the consumers.
Yeah, it ain't good for the consumers at all, is it?
No, of course.
And therein is a problem. So you go back to that, and why would you buy from a if the price is exactly the same, why would you buy from us rather than a manufacturer? I have no answer for that. And I'm not saying we're always the cheapest, because sometimes we're not. It used to be that people would prefer a manufacturer because they believed they would get a first pick at the service, they would get premium pricing and everything else. But that has changed so much lately, to the point now where I actually get phone calls from people who are manufacturer customers and say, "You know what? I don't believe them anymore. You sell them all, don't you?" "Yes, we do. Come and talk to me. I want to talk about the different machines, not just this one." And that's why people buy from us. It's got nothing to do with price. Price will always be an issue, but it's not price driven.
Oh, yeah? I agree. It's so let me ask you a question. When a person comes in and needs to buy a piece of equipment, well, let's say $1.5 million. Let's talk real dollars, right? How do you deal with the customer? Do you go in and do an ROI? Do you ask them to give you all the runs they do on all their equipment so that you could take it off the other equipment to put it on yours to show how profitable it is?
The scenario you've just described is a salesperson trying to move products away from what is already a sustainable business.
Correct.
What they should be doing is giving you a complementary service, not a replacement. You're not going to replace an 8-color Heidelberg with a digital press for some jobs. For others you will, but not for. So to sit there and say, you know what, this will take all that volume off the subject. Oh, the world's great, and look, here's Jesus coming for the second time. Kick them out. The talking rubbish. Kick them out. It should be complementary to what is already in your head. You build that business. You know what it can do. You know where you're going with it. What I should be doing is giving you the tools to deliver on where you think you want to go to. Yeah, maybe a few different IDs because I might know something a bit different, but I shouldn't be trying to rebuild a wheel. I should be trying to make it run a bit quicker.
When it comes to buying, do you ever assist your customer in understanding what the real costs of the machine are and operation? Or do you just go in and say, well, you're selling a lot of people equipment, right? Let's say the same box, right? I had a digital press once from the manufacturer. It was costing me 10 cents a click. I'm using easy math, right? Because it's too hard if I make it half pennies. The manufacturer ended up putting a machine into a customer of mine, right? Which well, there's so many stories with that one. And you know what? I didn't have a problem with that. The only problem I had with them putting the machine is you can't charge them 10 cents. You got to charge them a wholesale price, like a retail price, because they're not a reseller. So first of all, you gave them the same 10 cents. I look like I've been screwing them for years, when in fact my 10-cent charge is a 40-cent charge because I have a person, because I have rent, because I have electricity, because I have French benefits. So the question that I asked is, do you ever discuss with your customers? I find a lot of my competitors out there with what they're charging leads me to believe that they really don't understand the cost of operation.
I only deal with commercial printers. So my exposure to the corporates and things like that is tiny, although ASL have a large corporate business, but it's office, it's not print. So I tend to be talking to people who are business owners who know exactly what the cost of what things of production is and how they can relate that into the market. Of course, we can always, what we try to do when we're talking about machine pricing is be incredibly clear on every aspect of it. And that's half the difference, because I see some of my competitors who just, the pricing's just a mystery that they're selling it out at. And I sometimes wonder, how the hell's a customer going to understand that? I see proposals sometimes and I think, what? I don't get it. I don't understand it. And I do it all day long. But that's the nature of some salespeople, I suppose. Should we be able to help you sell your product better? We probably should, but I think that's something that's missing. And I'm not entirely sure how to do that, because I can sell pieces of tin that put dots onto paper all day long. I haven't got any experience in then selling that paper to somebody else. It's not, I don't know. I don't know how to do it. I take my hat off to people that do.
No, well, then maybe there has to be some communication from the manufacturer selling a machine to a machine that could produce something that gives the end result. Should people in the middle not understand?
There's definitely a marketplace for somebody
Right.
who can do that. It's almost as if the print industry is sitting waiting for somebody that can jump in the middle and say, hey, I could be your referee. I can do this for you. I can make this work for you. Yeah. It isn't me, because I'm not clever enough. You need to find somebody that's clever enough.
Yeah, no, I just find it's with everybody, it's just the manufacturers, it's just like sell. It goes out there. And I find a lot of companies are sold things they shouldn't be sold.
They're sold what the salesperson can sell them, and the salesperson will sell them whatever machine makes them the most money, soullessly, maliciously.
So
and with no
would
care
you
whatsoever.
Would you have you ever sold a machine to a customer that you didn't think was right for them?
No. I don't ever want to walk back into somebody's door and have them say to me, that pile of shit in the corner, what on earth did you sell me that for? I never want to be that person. I never want to be on the end of something like that. So I always hope that the advice I'm giving is the right advice and it's the most appropriate machine for their job, which brings us back to independence. You're not shoehorning in one product because that's all you've got in your portfolio right now, depending on which manufacturer.
If you had a customer that wanted something that you knew was not right for him, would you personally still sell him?
I've never come to that position. I haven't been there yet. When I don't know if you're aware of the Xerox iGen.
Hang on. Let me just tell you about the Xerox iGen. Okay.
Whoops, what did I do?
No, I was the first in Canada to have the Diamond series, and then I was the first in the world to have the iGen 5 with the 3 extra colors that I couldn't sell and the 24-point capacity, which was spectacular, and the oversized tray. The machine was great, except for the 3 colors. Oh, now I have another question. You got me thinking. So there's a few manufacturers that now have like fluorescent pink on their digital machines, right? What were they thinking? In all my career, 27 years and 97,000 jobs, maybe 4 people once asked for a fluorescent pink. Where does that come from?
The Ricoh 7100 introduced fluorescent pink.
Mm-hmm.
We at the time we had a print show in I think it was Birmingham that year. We were exhibiting at the print show, and we got fluorescent pink on it. And I was talking to one of the guys at Ricoh, and some of the best things that come out of digital printers are the ones that come by mistake and by accident, and just by, oh shit, didn't know you could do that. And we discovered at the time that if you laid down fluorescent pink with just yellow, it made orange. And there was a customer that said, sorry, hang on, show me that again. And the orange was exactly the orange that he needed for a job that he was tendering for. He bought the machine on the back of it doing the orange. He didn't buy the machine and then buy fluorescent pink. He bought the machine on the back of it doing that one thing. So for him, it wasn't a case of fluorescent pink is pointless. It was a case of fluorescent pink gave him something that digitally he couldn't get anywhere else. And the machine could have been twice the price. It wouldn't have mattered. That was it. Thank you very much. I'll have that. That's an example of good. The other is that, do I know, we've got lots of 7 Series Ricoh users, and only I think 4 of them have got fluorescent pink.
So that's a lot of manufacturing for 4 machines or 10 machines in the world.
Yeah.
So I would almost say then that some of these manufacturers are wasting their time and money and then charging us back somewhere, because it's about working for efficiencies, right? So why would you waste your time and do all that? I think another manufacturer came out with the fluorescent pink, and I'm like, wow, when did fluorescent pink become so popular? So when you're doing equipment, generally it's all leased.
No, it can be, a lot of it's cash at the moment. There's a lot of cash swimming around the UK at the moment. Yeah. Wow,
because where we are in Canada, I think there's very few cash payments for equipment. No?
Throughout this COVID pandemic in the UK government stepped up to the front and said, look, we're closing all the businesses, you're all going home. Whilst you're at home, we, the government, are going to pay your wages. So they are paying people's wages. Okay. For people to be at home, not doing things because the priority is the safety.
Right.
Yeah? They then instigated some business rebuilding loans, CBIL loans they're called, and these are cash. These are loans for companies at a very reduced interest rate, so they can spend money to get their businesses going again. Now, what's happening now? There are a lot of companies who are applying for these loans, are getting these loans, and they are using it. Some are using it to buy a modern piece of equipment to push forward. Some are buying a Lamborghini, but hey, that's up to them, isn't it? That's not going to help your business. But the end result is the leasing companies are not having as good a time as they perhaps might do, because people are taking these government-backed loans, paying it outright, and not having to worry about an ongoing debt. Or certainly a lower repayment through a government loan than it would be on a lease.
Yeah, but that's temporary, I think.
Of course, right? And it's nuts as well, because the machine in 5 years' time is not going to be worth 10 pence.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so like, because here I remember with one of the manufacturers we had, and then when the machine was up, I made a deal. They took it back, and actually funny story. So it's about this story is about about who you work with and who you think you could trust. Right?
We've only got half an hour.
Whatever. We got as long as I want. It's my show.
It could be Christmas.
No, but so the true story. I had a machine. They had taken it back for another machine, an upgrade, whatever. We spoke, we negotiated, we did. Then I got the new machine. A little while later, I was talking with a friend of mine somewhere else about what he paid for his machine. And it is funny how the manufacturers always want you to sign something that you won't talk or confidential. That's pretty much bullshit because everybody talks. So I'm talking to a friend of mine about his machine and I'm thinking, oh my God, when he told me what he paid, and I thought I was good, I was like I was dying. Anyways, got my composure back. I called in me rep at the time and sat him down and I said, listen, I have a problem. But before we go on with this, I just want to tell you that the problem is my problem. It's my fault. I blame no one. I am mad at myself. So he's like thinking he's got it easy. And he says, okay, we start talking. And I say to him, I turn over 2 pieces of paper and I say, well, this is what I paid for mine. And this is what my friend said he paid for his. I said, something's not working for me. I just like to know what it is. Long and short, comes back a few days later. Oh, and I did say before he left, because of the problem, when I need a new machine, you're out. I said, you're not out because you did something wrong. You're out, unfortunately, because I did something wrong. And when he came back, we sat down and he said, upon further review, there was a mistake.
Oh.
I say, no kidding. What was the mistake? And what did they do? They had again, all my fault for not properly, thoroughly checking, right? I absolutely, or getting maybe my control. Well, I don't know if I'm not going to blame the controller. My fault. Anyways, when he came in, yes, there was a mistake. The long and short of it was they offered me up something to the equivalent of $175,000. I took it just because there was a benefit to me to take it, but I wasn't impressed. And ever since then, I'm seriously weary about manufacturers and when they're selling and the processes and all the juggling they do with numbers.
There is a reversal process to what you just talked about. You talked about using a non-disclosure agreement,
right,
to stop you talking about the pricing. Yes.
Yes.
Non-disclosure agreements are actually a very, very powerful tool for you as a customer to get the best price. One of the manufacturers that we sell, their direct sales force are by a country mile the most loathsome dogs on the planet. Could
I guess the company? No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't want to guess.
No.
I don't want to.
And I wouldn't pee on them if they were on fire. That's how bad the feeling is. Okay. When we are talking to a new business client about their product, their direct sales force will say, Warren, this is my price for the machine. And I can tell you now, their price will be somewhere in the clouds. And they say, I'm talking to Paul Stead at ASL and he's giving me a better quote. What they will say to you is, show me his quote and we will match it. There's something wrong in that sentence. Show me his quote and we will match it. Don't you mean show me his quote and you'll beat it considerably? No, we'll match it. Right, okay. If you've got a non-disclosure agreement, you can't show them my quote. You cannot. And all you can say to me is, I'd love to show it you so you can match it, but I can't because I've signed a non-disclosure agreement.
They're asking you to break. It's okay for them to break the agreement. I love it.
We can't talk about it. So you're just going to have to give me your best shot. What happens there? Who's going to get with their first option, show me the price and we'll match it. That's the best price you're ever going to get. With the second option that says, I can't show you, come back at me with your best, you stand a chance. You stand a chance of finding somebody that will price it better than this scurrilous dog.
I like that.
But your chances, tiny. Yeah. Best use of an NDA. Turn it back on them. Make it your coat of arms, not theirs.
Wow. Wow. By the way, this part might have to be taken out and highlighted in the description because no, honestly, I'm sitting here. You almost got me speechless. I want to go back in time.
I was with a customer yesterday who is a direct customer of one of these manufacturers. And we were having a conversation, and he was one of the ones that started that conversation with, you supply them all, let's have a conversation. So it was that chatting, and I said to him, look, we get into the nits and bolts. I said, look, you're going to start asking me about pricing. I said, how do you feel about a non-disclosure agreement? And he said to me, does that mean we can't talk about what we're talking about? I said, absolutely it does. He practically seized it out of my hand. I was stunned. Scribbled on it, handed it back. He said, you will scan it and send me a copy, won't you? I said, yeah, I will do, yeah. And then it all came out. The emotion came out, the feeling came out, because he knew I couldn't say anything to anybody about that discussion. By the way, I wouldn't anyway.
Right.
But that coat of arms that he just put on himself was protection enough to start the phrase, what a bunch of... Whoa!
Wow.
Yeah,
I just wrote this down. How to turn your manufacturer NDA into your favor.
It's your armor. It's not theirs, it's yours.
Wow. Wow. I'm sitting here, I'm thinking like, oh my God, I want to go buy something and sign an NDA so I could flip it on them. Right? That is so ingenious. So this is the other thing, what I've done is, because everybody's all over the place, right? And there are a lot of people are full of shit. Although I will say this, I've worked with a lot of people. No, the individual people that I have worked with over the years, I've worked with a lot of really amazing people. Unfortunately, some of them are forced to follow the party line, whether they agree or not, right? It's just really a tragedy when it's not done in the right way.
It is.
So I bought a piece of equipment, and I remember telling the salesman this. We sat down, and I hate negotiating. I hate negotiating with my customers. I hate when I have to negotiate with suppliers, because I think we're all entitled to make a living for what we do and be, charge accordingly. Doesn't really work that way all the time. Anyway, speaking to the manufacturer's in, and he's quoting me, and he's this, and I just looked at him and I said, okay, look, I don't really want to go back and forth with you. You've spent 2 years working me, try to get in, and I'm about to buy this. I'm going to ask you I'm going to say one thing to you. I said, I travel the world. I'm heavily connected with people. You know that I could probably find out what the cost of any piece of equipment is just about in any country. So I'm going to ask you this. Are you comfortable enough with your price that no matter where I am, if something comes up, I'm going to be good with it? I said, because if you're not, then go back and look at it, because if it ever comes up that I'm way out to lunch, I'm not going to be mad at you. You'll just never, ever, ever sell me a piece of equipment, and you just spent the last 2 years working me. And he said to me, he said to me, I'm comfortable. What does that say?
Before we started, I wrote down a few things that for me are important. One, use an NDA to get the pricing right for you. We've covered that. The second one, check contract terminology. You should always use. But the third thing, and this is the one, I'm a salesman, always get another quote. I don't care that you've known me for 15 years and we go out drinking on a third Friday of every month, and forget that. Ask somebody else, always get another quote. You don't have to do it all the time if you don't want to, but every so often you have to, for your own sensibility and your business viability, check the value of what you've got. I was with a client of a competitor a while ago, and he said to me, and we were talking about one particular manufacturer's machine. I said to him, I've been using them for a long time. I said, do you never look around? No, he said, Bill, I've been buying off Bill for 16 years, and he always looks after me and always gets me a great price. And we carried on and we chatted and we looked at his contract, because he had a question about a contract. And then I saw the pricing that Bill had signed him up for. And I wanted to reach over the desk and slap the guy. But hey, he trusted Bill, and I wasn't about to break his trust by Bill by telling him he needs to get rid of Bill.
Oh, no, Mr. Bill.
But by God, does he need to get rid of Bill? Yeah.